What's up everyone, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Schrade SCHF51 and the SCHF51M. Let me start off and give you a little background on the Schrade SCHF51. So this model is basically, it's going to be based off the Schrade SCHF36 and 36M. And that was an award-winning knife, very popular with a variety of different people. But what they did was they took feedback from the YouTube reviewers and other people who have used and reviewed the knife, and they made adaptations to the 51 and the 51M. So you're going to hear this throughout the video, but the SCHF51 and 51M are basically the improved versions and the changed modified versions of the SCHF36 and 36M, and then the SCHF52 and 52M, those are the modifications of the SCHF37 and 37M. And just to be clear, the regular numbers with no M have the TPE handles, and any of those models that have the M after have the micarta handles. Let's start off by comparing this to the SCHF36. Before I show you the 51 in use, let's talk through some of the differences between the 36 and the 51. The first one is the coating. So this has actually been stripped down. I still have to clean it up quite a bit, but it came with a powder coating originally, and that just gave more traction than I liked, and also it just was very hard to clean. I've actually stabbed the 51 into a tree to take some photos of it, and if I had done that with the 36, you would see all kinds of glitch here on the end. It was just hard to get the dirt and stuff off. Not the case with the 51. So that is that's a win already for the 51. That coating makes it much smoother, less traction, and just easier to clean. So that's one of the first differences. The second difference that we'll see is in the jimping. So on this one, you can see jimping here on the top where your thumb is going to rest, and then nothing else. On the 36, we had jimping on the top and then jimping on the bottom here, and both this set of jimping and this set is quite aggressive. And so what they did was they removed the jimping on the bottom on the 51, and they also smoothed that out nicely so it's not going to be aggressive and hurt your thumb. They've also contoured the handle a little bit here, so you do have some cutouts here, or kind of it's smoothed out, I should say, on the TPE handle. This one's smoothed out even more. Another difference is the pommel, and neither of these are going to be a great pommel for kind of, you know, smashing and breaking like this. However, this one's got a little bit more of a bend as it comes down, and so your hand is really going to lock in there nicely as you're actually using the knife. Now, again, I want to note that the SCHF36 won awards, so it's not like it was some terrible knife, but I like the idea that they've upgraded it and made a couple changes I think that a lot of people are going to be happy with. 1095 high carbon steel on both, so that's a plus for most people who like a bushcraft, a survival knife. That's a steel a lot of people prefer. I want to show you what they look like as far as the length. You can see when I line them up, you know, tip to tip, they're just about even here, but on the back side you can see that the 51 is going to stick out a bit longer. It's not a huge difference, it's less than an inch, but that little hook down, again, hand is going to lock in there really nice, and so you can hold it, you know, like so, or if you want to, you can get your finger up in the choil there to do some more of that fine work. What I've done now is add in the SCHF51M, and M is for micarta, so you're going to get micarta handles on this one, and with the regular 51 you're going to get the TPE handle. I actually like the look of the micarta handle a lot. I do find the TPE handle is a little bit more comfortable when I'm holding the knife. Here's a look at the sheath that comes with the SCHF51. Pretty standard fare for what Schrade gives you with a large fixed blade survival-esque knife. You got ballistic nylon, this little pouch here with a sharpener, a striker, and your ferro rod. You got a snap here that goes around the handle. You do have some included cordage if you want to wrap that around your leg. And then on the back you've got this hook and loop closure so you can put it on your belt. If you like the Schrade SCHF51 but this 5-inch blade is too small for you, you may want to check out the 52, which has a 7-inch blade, and as you can see you can get the 52 with TPE handles and micarta handles as well. As a quick note, I did want to tell you that all the changes that went from the SCHF36 to the 51, you know, as far as the handle, the coating on the blade, etc., all those same changes have been rolled over into the 52 as well. So all the nice features you're going to get on the 51, you'll get on the 52 as well, with just a bigger blade, this 7-inch instead of the 5-inch. Let's get to it. We'll put the SCHF51M to work. First thing we'll do here is some chopping. This is a live tree, probably about 3 inches across. This is in my yard, so I'm not cutting up public property or anything, but let's put this thing to the test. haven't gone the whole way through the tree yet, but you can actually see how clean the blade is. If this was that powder coating that they used on the SCHF36, it would cut well, but it would be a lot messier and dirtier. So major win when it comes to this Teflon-like coating that Schrade is using on the 51 and the 52. We're going to roll in the SCHF52M, and this is definitely much more of a chopper size when it comes to an outdoor survival knife. So let's finish the job with the 52 and show you what that looks like. Let's keep working with the 51M here. So that came off pretty quickly, and we'll just chop this little one off just so you can see that it can do that work pretty effectively. This one up here, just bring this back a little bit for you. And chop through this one. So those smaller ones, no problem. The bigger one, it could definitely do, it just takes a little bit more work. We'll do a little work now and get some shavings off this piece of dead wood. Here's a look at those shavings. So despite the fact that the knife is a pretty stout knife, you can still do that fine work. Alright, I almost had a moment here because I thought that the spine of the knife was not going to be sharp enough to get a spark off the fire steel. It makes me crazy when people make outdoor survival knives but they don't put a spine on that you could actually use with a fire steel. But not to worry, you can get a fire steel using the 51 and the 52. I'll show you that right now. So no problem whatsoever for that. And here's using the ferro rod with the 52. That works. Let's wrap it up doing some batoning and a little bit more chopping. I want to mention something that I've noticed about the jimping. This is the TPE handle SCHF51M, and you could see that the TPE handle's here, and then the jimping does stick up a little bit there. Now I want you to compare that to the 51M, and you can see the jimping is there, but when you look at it from the side, nothing is sticking up. So I'll put these side by side quickly and see if you can, yeah, you can definitely see the difference. So this one sticks up and the handle of the TPE kind of drops down a little bit, whereas with the micarta, very, very smooth there. So that's just something to keep in mind. I think it's cool that you have both options. They aren't exactly the same, just with different handles. You're going to get a, some people are going to want a little bit more jimping, and so you got that with the TPE. And then with the micarta, it's kind of dropped in there a little bit. Just want to let you know about that. We're back here in the studio now, and I want to offer you some final thoughts on the Schrade SCHF51 and 52 series. And the first thing I'll tell you is the price point. You're looking at probably $40 to $45 for the 51, and then $45 to $50 for the 52 series. And they'll be coming out relatively soon. The next thing I'll tell you is that if you didn't like the 36 or the 37 that Schrade made, you're probably not going to like these because, again, the 36 and the 37 are basically the base model for these, and these just had some modifications. So I like the 36 and the 37, so I do like these as well. My favorite thing by far on the upgrades for these is the that Teflon-like coating. I used this one and this one all day long. If you had seen me at the end of using the 36 and the 37 for a while, there'd be just a lot of gunk and stuff left on this. I basically just wipe this off with my hand at the end of the day, and then we're good to go. So I just like that coating. It doesn't get a lot of junk on it, and it's smoother than the 36 and the 37. Now that said, I do have the 36 and the 37. I've stripped the coating off the 36, which again is the baseline for this model, and I still like that knife a lot. So it's not a loss if you got the 36, but this I definitely think is a good upgrade compared to the 36. The other thing I'll tell you is that I prefer the TPE handles over the micarta as far as comfort, but I do like the look of the micarta a lot. I think overall, I'm a little bit concerned that this would get kind of nicked up or chipped, beat up a little bit more easily than the micarta. This one will have some dings in it if you use it long term, but I feel like this one you could actually have a chunk taken out, depending on what happened to the knife, if you bumped into something, if you dropped it, something like that. As far as any changes, the only other two things I would offer are, first, I would say if they could round out the edges of the choil a little bit. It's not steep, but if it was a little bit more rounded out, I would like that even more. And then the other thing is that the spine, I like the idea of kind of having a little, I don't know if I say groove maybe, you could put a little divot in there, or maybe not finishing one area here, which is a lot of work when it comes to all the production process, but that would just be a little bonus for me when it comes to using a fire steel. But as you saw today, the 51, mostly that we use, but also the 52, they function well. They're nice looking, very reasonable price point. And that's the idea behind these. If you're getting into survival, outdoor stuff, you want a nice fixed blade, and you want to spend $250, then these are not the knives for you. But if you want to say, hey, I'm going to spend between 30 and 50 bucks, then you could go with one of the SCHF36 or 37s, or if you want to spend a little more, go with the 51 or the 52. I've been very happy with these. When I talked to the folks over at Taylor Brands at Blade Show 2015, they were really proud of these, and I can see why, because they've kept it at a very reasonable price point, and yet you're getting a good quality product from Schrade. So I'll be using probably the 51s mostly for a while, and then I'll report in, as I always do, if there's anything worth noting. The 36 and the 37 I have continued to like, but I'll be kind of retiring those guys at least for a bit and focusing on the 51, I think, instead. So my overall assessment for these knives is a thumbs up from Everyday Tactical Vids. Again, good price point, good quality. I think you'll like them if you get a hold of one of them. Thanks as always for checking out the videos. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so on YouTube. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram and Tumblr as well. Take care.